Welcome to video number 3 for Learning Aim C, Wider Implications of Digital Systems. Today we're going to be looking at the topic of equal access, and then we'll be finishing off with net neutrality. We have two main focuses for our objectives today. The first one is allowing us to understand the importance of providing equal access to all individuals when they're accessing digital services and information. And then we're going to understand what net neutrality is and how it impacts organisations, such as internet service providers. When we use the word equal access, that means that everybody has the same rights to access the same information. Imagine you had a cake and you were going to split that cake between two people. To give them equal share, you would cut the cake in half. And this is the same for computers using access to the internet. Everyone should have the same access to the same services, such as the World Wide Web, the websites that they can visit, and different apps. And we also need to consider people with disabilities and how we can support those people to also have equal access to the sites. We're going to look at this in more video detail shortly. To ensure we have equal access and we don't lead to discrimination of different groups, we ensure that we categorize different segmentations of people so then we can ensure we're supporting them so they can view the material like everybody else. Some of the groups of people that are categorized are the elderly and the young, because both of those groups may not be very familiar with technology at the moment. We have women on maternity leave, so allowing them to access jobs from home as they can't go into work. People with disabilities who may be housebound and therefore can't get out to get the information from their local councils, for example. And we also look at all races and the different genders. This allows all the different categories to have equal access so nobody is discriminated against. To ensure there is equal access online, new laws have been put into place. These all fall underneath the Equality Act of 2010. Underneath the Equality Act of 2010, there are many different laws. Some of them you may be familiar with. The first example is the Equal Pay Act. This ensures that it doesn't matter who's doing the job, that they receive a fair amount of pay, whether that's a male or a female or people of different race. We then also have the Disability Discrimination Act. This is to help people with disabilities have the same rights as people without. This could be in how they access material online and what support is given to them to help them to read it and view it. People must be treated equally when accessing IT services and information such as apps and websites, and if they're not treated equally, then they can be prosecuted under these laws, which can lead to large fines and public embarrassment. This will mean that customers then will go to their competitors. The Equality Act can enforce changes that employers have to do. This will mean that any people who work for them, employees, who are disabled, are supported. This could be making, for example, ramps into entrances of buildings, or they may have to make door spaces wider so people can fit through in a wheelchair. They also need to make sure that material can be read by people of poor eyesight, or if they are colorblind, or if they are hard of sight, there may be a speech option. A key term that can be used in exams is digital divide. And this is the difference between the people that have access and the people who do not have access. If we think of the United Kingdom, there is a digital divide that we all have around us. You may notice that areas such as the Lake District or Cornwall do not have very good internet connections, if any. Therefore, people who live in that region are suffering with poor internet connection speeds or none, and are therefore being disadvantaged against the people who have got strong, fast internet connections, for example in London. There's also digital divides between different people in terms of their age and their income. Some families cannot afford to have high-speed internet packages each month, and therefore again they are being disadvantaged against the people who've got high incomes and have the super fast broadband speeds. In the exam, you may be asked to write a report on the benefits of equal access. Individuals means the people, such as the workers or people living at home. You could be asked an exam question on any one of the 5 categories shown. We'll go through 2 for examples now. So in an exam, we may be asked how good access to technology has supported online shopping. And hopefully you could think of the benefits, such as being able to access it 24 hours a day, being able to compare prices so you find the cheapest product, therefore saving you money. It can help people with disabilities who are housebound, as they can become independent and order online, therefore not having to ask family or friends to shop on their behalf. And also another aspect that could use is education. We have good access to technology in schools, and this allows you to improve your learning experience, as you can research online to support your understanding. And we can also have good use of technology such as whiteboards and iPads to make lessons interactive and fun. You could also be asked different topics such as communication, entertainment and social media, and remote working, which means working from home. We will look at these categories in class and do some practice paper questions in the future. You may then turn your attention to the benefits to the organisations, so the businesses, the owners. Again, by having equal access for all individuals in the country or in the globe, this means that more people can access the company's website and therefore spend money, which increases sales and profits for the organisations. They can also communicate better with customers. If all their customers have equal access, then the company can be assured that they can send emails or messages to those customers, and everyone will be able to access those messages and act upon them. And company websites can also allow them to have customers anywhere in the world. If we had equal access in different countries, then the companies could sell to those customers globally and therefore increase their market and again increase their sales and profit. After looking at the benefits to individuals and then organisations, finally you may be asked to look at the benefits to society. The society is the local community that acts around together as a group. You might have a society in your area. For example, on Facebook, you may have a page that all the streets in your local area talk together about and act upon. Online communication allows people, such as the elderly, to feel less lonely and keep in touch with family and friends. So again, by having equal access and not discriminating against the elderly people, this means they can use that equal access to communicate with friends and family, which can help with their mental health. There are many other benefits to society, such as being able to find information out, such as what day is the green bin collection in their area, or they may be able to look for jobs. So the society can have a look online to find out jobs that are available in their local area, so therefore they become employed and earn a living. By not supporting everybody with equal access to online materials such as websites and apps, you can lead to discrimination, which can mean that certain categories of people are treated differently. This could be, for example, saying that people who have a low income can't afford broadband and therefore are not supported in any way to have access to any. This means they have no internet access and are discriminated against because they can't access information like everybody else. To help organisations know how to treat everybody equally, professional guidelines and standards have been written, and these are in the form of a code of conduct, which businesses can read to ensure then they are not discriminating and they are treating people equally. There are also standards to help people access information, such as Braille and audio to help people who are blind. And there's something known as the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. We're going to look at that on the next slide. To allow people with disabilities, ranging from colourblind to blind entirely or deaf, there is the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines being created. By following these step-by-step guidance, different people can be supported. A couple of examples could be allowing subtitles for the videos, so people can see the subtitles and read them to understand what is happening in the video if they can't see it very well. They can also have no flashing images, because then people with epilepsy will not be affected. Again, if you look at the different recommendations, you should be able to identify which type of people this would support. This brings us on to our second objective of the video, which is net neutrality. To access the internet, we pay monthly subscriptions to internet service providers such as BT, Sky and Virgin. It is possible for these internet service providers to restrict the data that we can access. For example, they may restrict a video streaming service. So BT may decide to block YouTube or Netflix. And by blocking it and restricting the data, they are making it so their customers don't have equal access to content. They may also slow down access to a new app. So they may decide that slowing down that access to that app will affect its performance, and people then won't use it and will use the internet service providers' apps instead, making them more custom and income. By treating all the data the same, this is called net neutrality. There are many advantages for customers to have net neutrality existing. For example, when I purchase the broadband for my house, I can now compare all internet service providers because they offer the same access to data. I can then base my decision on other factors such as their customer service and their price. I know if I pay a lower price for a company, I won't be blocked from certain access to data, which means then I'm not suffering from having less equal access. Net neutrality can also impact businesses and organizations. By allowing all the data to be treated in the same manner, this means businesses can benefit. For example, if they are small and just setting up, their data will be treated just the same as a large business, and therefore they can help to compete. Also, users who obviously have high data usage through video and gaming online, they will only be charged the same as people with low usage. And therefore, your streaming sites such as Twitch and YouTube and Netflix, they are not at a disadvantage because their customers will not be allowed to view their channels for large amounts of time due to the high amount of data that you will be using. We often see the internet as a public utility like electric and water. Everywhere you go now, you expect to have internet access, whether that's at school, at home, in restaurants, or when you go on holiday.